Welcome back to the next ICG webinar, where we're going to be talking about whether estate agents should be regulated with the RoPA regulations. Let's go live to our queen of regulation. We've got Charlotte Campbell. Charlotte, when is regulation RoPA going to be coming in, and how big is it going to be? Talk to us.
I think it's one of those things at the moment that there's so much misinformation I keep seeing on the internet at the moment, and in Facebook groups, and what qualifications will work and what qualifications won't. I think the general view, because I speak direct to the communities of housing department, the general view is this is going to happen. As you can imagine at the moment, the team sitting in their office squirreled away planning for RoPA, they're really busy at the moment looking at the sort of pandemic that we're dealing with at the moment. So whatever we do in terms of timescale, it's still not known. However, what we do know is that progress is being made. So we've started seeing the working group about qualifications, the original working group. We've started seeing the code of practice being looked at. And I think getting a clear code of practice across the industry is important. So I think my view is it is coming. But I think anyone who says that there's a fixed time scale doesn't really know that. But I think there's value in being aware of it, in deciding what you do with your staff and how you plan your business moving forward at the moment.
Okay. Is it worth someone actually getting level 3 or level 4 now in readiness?
Yeah, it is, because obviously I would say that, but I'll say it in a very unbiased way. In the RoPA report, they made it very clear that anybody studying qualifications needed to get a level 3 Ofqual regulated qualification, and that anyone with an existing level 3 Ofqual regulated qualification at the time of licensing, that would work for them. That would tick the box for regulation. The difference being that it might be that they would need to do some top up. And all top up means is if you've got your ALA level 3 qualification in lettings, you might need to top up to tick what the regulator wants for you for a state agency if you do both job roles. Or it might well be that you've got your CPAT, which is our qualification, which is sales and lettings, you've got that. But in January next year or the year after, there's a new law in ethics, or I don't know, something else happens that the regulator says we need to know about, then ultimately you could do the top up in that specific topic. And we've seen it in Scotland. Scotland are regulated, Wales are regulated. It's not unlikely, it's not unusual that it's going to happen here as well.
Okay, and final question before we open it up to everyone else. Is it right that bosses, including self-employed agents who are classed as their own bosses, will have to be level 4?
Yeah, so level 3...
Isn't it?
Yes, well, it depends. Level 3 is the equivalent of an A level or 2. So as a vocational qualification, everyone keeps saying, oh God, level 3 for negs, it's going to be really hard. I'm not being funny, but if a qualification is vocational, it should recognize the industry and the knowledge that you're doing. So if you're good at your job, there is no way you should be sitting fearing doing a qualification that recognizes it. And our qualification, we wrote with that in mind. The level 4, there's only one level 4 that exists at the moment, which is the Property Mark level 4, and you have to choose either sales or lettings. And it's a tricky qualification. It's not one that I would think that would be easy to pass for a lot of people. If you're dyslexic and it's a lot of study and it's a lot of written word, that might be harder. But again, the level 4 assesses problem solving, your understanding of how to manage a business. It's not just checking that you know what money laundering is. It's checking that you could solve a problem if it happens with money laundering, or you've got an issue and how would you deal with it. So my view very passionately is that any level 4 that agents follow has got to be of value to the business owner to help them grow and develop their business. And I feel fundamentally that any qualification that you sit, whether it's now or for RoPA, has got to be about improving the bottom line of your business and earn you more money as a business. Otherwise, what's the point? It can't just be about ticking a qualification box.
One final bonus question before we open it up. There's a few agents that say, I'll sod it, I'll just go down to a centre and do my level 4. Are they going to fail?
I think without preparation, it's not easy. People don't pass without preparation. Level 3 varies. Our level 3, I would say, with a good bit of experience, you'd pass it. With some time spent on the platform. Level 3 alternative qualifications, some of them are not as easy to pass because of the style and language they're written in, so they don't suit everybody, because everyone's learning style is different. Not everyone wants to sit watching reading a huge folder. Some people like film or video or podcasts. They like to learn in different styles. So I think that's the most important bit, that the learning style fits the different qualifications and the person relevant. So there's no one qualification for everybody. It should be what's the right one for you.
Excellent. Right, let's go to Kristjan Byfield, who is a letting agent. What are your thoughts on regulation?
So I think there's a few points. I think first of all, when it comes to RoPA, for years we've all been confronted with people, chucking out the phrase, "Oh, anyone can be an agent. Oh, I can go and open an estate agent's office tomorrow." I think as an industry, we should welcome this, because fundamentally, if implemented correctly, it professionalizes, it creates a profession rather than an industry. And that is something that we've all been wanting to happen for a long time. It will hopefully over time raise the perception of our industry. And with that can come things like raised revenues and fees. So fundamentally, I think it's something the industry should absolutely embrace. I think from a owner, founder, director point of view, I would caution anyone being too passive on this at the moment. There are lots of seminars, engagement, opportunities to engage in how all of this RoPA regulation is being structured and founded and shaped. Don't sit by the wayside and just let it happen. And then when it's all in place, sit there and moan about the fact that you don't like the way it's structured. If you feel quite strongly about the way you feel it should be structured and what are important elements to that, don't wait. You need to be engaging in this stuff now. You need to be, buying into this and having your say, and engage with your network of agents that as well. Your one voice isn't going to do it, but we all work with and alongside agents who are typically similarly minded. Get them on board with points. If there's something you feel really strongly needs to happen in there, then do it. With regards to training and certification, if there's any owner out there that can honestly say that their business won't be better off with more technically knowledgeable staff, regardless of RoPA, I'd love to talk to them. I think I'd love to know how a business is in any way disadvantaged by having more technically knowledgeable members of staff. So regardless of what RoPA achieves at an end goal, keep educating staff, keep training them, keep leveling up. And, that will in turn lay your groundwork for when RoPA does come in and that framework's finalized.
Okay, let's go to Gary and then we'll go to Iain.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. We need to remember that it's the credibility of the business for the client. So the client looks at the business and says, you're qualified, you've taken this seriously. I did level 3 myself about 5 years ago, and it did at that point put me above some of the other people that were going to see people. So it's important to the client.
Okay, Iain, are you really telling me that the bosses of 5 estate agency branches, 10 branch networks, even the bosses of Romans have to go and get level 4? Charlotte, just confirm this. Everyone above area manager, director, everyone above has got to be level 4, all the way up to the top boss man. These people aren't going to have time to do this, are they? Or do they have to make time? Charlotte, is that right?
Based on the workings of what we know and the knowledge we have, they're going to have to make time. But they should want to make time. It's not a chore. If they teach it, if they're the type of people that are taking it that I have to do this because I'm told I have to do it, then fine. Okay, they've got to do it. They'll do it begrudgingly. But surely you do this to learn. You do this to become better. You do this to have more knowledge, more skill, become more productive, make more money, be more credible. I think Gary used the word credible. So for me, the estate agents fit into 2 very different categories. Estate agency behavior is typically, we know something's happening, money laundering, RoPA, we know it's happening. It doesn't apply to me. I'll do it later. I'll get involved later on. And then right at the last minute, they put in a rushed, shitty program that doesn't work for them. Do it now. There's no downside to it. There is no downside.
That's Charlotte Campbell.
Yeah. I think a lot of it for me is about, am I on mute? No. Sorry. I think a lot of it for me is that with the larger organizations, what they'll be able to do is nominate people to take responsibility as director level. So that will become clear and they will start planning for that. I think in terms of the qualifications, I think fundamentally, and I would say this because I've written one, that you've got to choose the right qualification for you. So we're developing a level 4. So we hope agents engage with us to develop it with us.
Thank you for your time today, everyone. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next ICG webinar where we'll be talking about topical things of the estate agency industry. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.